Hello everyone! Okay, I think we're live. You know me, I always hate going live and being the first person here. I'm trying to speak to myself. Let me see. Okay, we've got a couple of people joining. This is so exciting. So, I have got a little bit of anxiety because the person that's coming on today, I love her. She's fantastic. She is just a powerhouse. I have seen her 3 times in various different things. So I see all the fan pages joining. Yes, we all know who is coming on here, everyone. Okay. Let's see if we can get on. So she's joining.
Hey!
Hello!
Gosh! I was like,
How are you? How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing really well, doing well. I'm laughing because we are quite a small page and now I'm going to watch the numbers skyrocket because we've gone live. So this is going to be the best live I think we've ever had. But yes, so for everyone that's joining from our side, if you don't know who this lovely lady is, this is Grace. She is, like I said, an absolute powerhouse. She has been in a number of things. Six the Musical as a little drop hint for one of them. She's also been in Juliet and just announced you're going to be in Hair. Yeah, so I know so much amazing things to come out, especially through the lockdown. It was such an amazing thing to have something announced, something to look forward to. So you must be buzzing.
Oh, absolutely buzzing. I feel incredibly lucky. Can't believe it. It's just ridiculous. I'm very excited. I did the show in 3rd year as well, so I'm like, because everyone's currently panicking about their harmonies, and I'm like, I'm alright.
Love that. Well, I'll shut up and I'll let you explain who you are and tell us a little bit about you, and yeah, I'll stop talking.
Okay. Oh, hello everyone. I'm Grace. I am 24 and I'm a musical theatre performer. Is my connection really bad?
I'm just reading the comment. It says your connection's poor.
How's my connection for you? Should I move place?
Are you on the Wi-Fi? Is your Wi-Fi maybe a bit dodgy?
How about now? I'm on 4G now.
I think I can hear you, but right, I'll let everyone. So if you drop a little in the comments, is that better for everyone? I'll wait for someone to give us a little comment.
I'm gonna move. How is it now?
For sure, I think we can see you, but yeah, so much better. Yeah, that's perfect.
Is that better?
Yeah, better.
I'm back in the room. I'm here.
Back in the room. Yes.
It must have been the Wi-Fi. So, hello. Right, now this is where it begins because I've got the Wi-Fi now.
Yes.
I'm Grace. I'm Grace and I'm a musical theatre performer. I went to the Guildford School of Acting and now I currently not because coronavirus. I am in the cast of And Juliet, covering Juliet at the Shaftesbury. And before that, I did 15 months in a little show that I don't know if some of you know called Six. And I'm about to do I think it's 4 performances of Hair, which I'm really excited about. And aside from musical theatre, I'm also a YouTuber very recently and a podcaster, which is something that I've started in lockdown. It is my absolute new love. I'm obsessed. I love it so much. But yeah, that's me pretty much. I don't really know if there's much else about me to talk about.
Oh, there absolutely is. We'll touch on a little bit of the new podcast stuff right at the very end. So I was kind of going to work top to bottom. So I was going to start at the very beginning like Julie Andrews says, it's a very good place to start. So I thought I would start with your training. So
Yeah.
how did you find your training? Did you have like a really good experience? Because I know a lot of people come out and go straight into the industry, and they sometimes feel like they're not ready, or some feel like they're ready to go. Like, so how did you find your training
Yeah.
experience?
You know what? I think it's individual. Really great in some aspects. So like, I just sometimes graduate. Then in terms of like some things I just wasn't prepared for, like things like,
I was going to say, I don't know if your sound's gone funny now.
gosh, how about now?
Better.
Okay, I won't put you down on my sofa. That's probably right. So basically, what I was saying was that it's a completely individual
Hmm.
experience, but I felt good in some elements. Like I've always been super excited. I've always been like a raring to go person,
Hmm.
and I'm always so excited about graduating. But there's some elements that I just wasn't prepared for, and I don't think anyone can be like properly prepared for. So like, things like the pressure of things, and also being a cover is something that like I just think it's one of those things you learn on the job, and that's the way it is. There's only so much training you can do to be a swing or an understudy to prepare you for how it is. So, but yeah, I felt ready. I felt raring to go, and I had a great experience at drama school. GSA's I always say is like proper like family vibes,
Hmm.
everyone kind of thing, and I loved it, and I really just adored my year group. I was so lucky with the group I had. There was 36 of us, I think, and we were all so different, but I loved them all. So yeah,
Did you
that's
have
cheers.
to? So, wait, like, did you have to commute, or did you live in London, or?
So I do actually. I did live quite close to Guildford, so I could have commuted, but I decided to move to Guildford.
Okay.
Just I wanted the whole experience, and I'm glad I did. I did go to do the halls thing. I saw George Stroud joined earlier. Hey George. I went to halls and I hated it. I had a really bad experience, and some people like have great experiences, but I just didn't. And so I was basically back and forth from like home and my halls. Um, but then I moved into a house with some of my really good mates in second year and third year, and we just had an absolute blast. And I really miss it. And it's like one of the houses in Guildford that's like always a GSA house.
Okay.
And so yeah, I lived right by uni, and I really think that was great for me. Some people it's not, but I like really just wanted to like move out and live on my own because I never.
Do the whole uni experience kind of thing. Hello
Yeah.
to everyone that's joining. I've seen a question about what dancing qualifications you need for GSA. So that's, well, I might be, because
Oh.
I obviously didn't go to GSA, but as far as I'm aware, it doesn't really matter. You can go into any kind of drama school with no dance qualifications, or you can go in with like the highest qualifications. It all just depends on your actual
Yeah,
audition. Yeah.
yeah. I don't think there was any dance qualifications. It's just like A levels, but even that's gone down now.
Yeah. Um,
Go.
I know. So I wanted to ask, what's your earliest performance experience that you can remember? Like, were you always into performing? Were you the kid that got, like, I know I was the child that got a mic for my Christmas when I was about 4, and I
Yeah,
think I just never put it down. Like, was that this kind of same experience for you, or were you like a little bit older?
yeah. I think like I went to like a little dance school, like a local dance school when I was a kid, and then also I was doing like talent shows and stuff. Like locally. I always loved to sing and dance. But yeah, I used to do talent shows, and one of like my favorite videos from when I was younger is I won this talent show when I was like 7, and I collected the certificate, and I just like fell off the stage. I just went. I had these like
Oh,
wedges, like oh no, they're like platforms. So there's like a flat platform, and I went to jump off the stage and like tripped over my platform, just fell down. And there's a video of it, and epic.
Oh.
Yeah, my first like show was probably when I went like school shows. Obviously, growing up, I did quite a few YMTs. I did NYMT, at the which like the summer program
Programs,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely loved them, and I'd really recommend them to anyone wanting to go into musical theatre.
Absolutely. So you always said that you were into like singing and dancing, but did you ever want to be like a pop star? Or was it always going to be like you always wanted to be on like obviously you would be on a stage being a pop star, but did you always want to go into the theatre side, or were you wanting to be like a pop star? Because I always find that
I star more now after being in six than I did.
yes,
You know what I mean?
I feel
like
that.
now, okay, I'm ready to be in Little Mix. I think I don't know. Also, sorry if you can hear it's my washing machine.
Okay.
I think sometimes I wanted to do like dancing in music videos.
Okay.
You know, like I wanted to be like backup dancer vibes, but then that just wasn't my thing. And then I started going to shows with my mum in West End, and that's when I realised I was like, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's only fair. Actually, I'll ask you this question first. So what was the first gig? Let's call it a gig. What was the first gig that you booked leaving GSA?
6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made my debut in 6 the night after, no, the night before graduating, I think. Because I remember I literally did it, and then we jumped in a car, me and Maya, went from Cambridge to Guildford, and like got ready, and then and I was literally knackered in graduation, like because the adrenaline crash was so real.
Yeah.
I was literally there in the ceremony, like falling asleep.
That is crazy.
And then we had to get back in the car and went and did a show that night.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was nuts that time. But yeah, it was 6. Crazy.
Well, since let's move straight on to all the 6 questions, because I know. So if anyone does have any 6 related questions, you can drop them in the little comments, and I'll make sure to read them out. But I'll start with, obviously, you were one of the alternate queens, so you had the lovely experience of playing as many roles as and when were needed. But is there one in particular through the audition experience that they always told you to kind of go back to, or what were you pulled in first and foremost to audition with?
So I actually only ever sung for Berlin and Cleves.
Okay.
And I did my own song as well, which was quite like showed quite a lot of range.
Okay.
And yeah, and that was it. And it was really funny because Maya, we were obviously like besties from drum school, and she was on for it as well. And she had been seen for like loads of queens, and I'd only been seen for 2. So like we thought Maya was going to be the swing.
Okay.
And but then obviously Maya got par, and then they said I got the phone call. They're like, they want you to be a swing, and I was like, but they've only seen me swing too. But yeah, obviously they trusted me, and I had been in for it like 4 times. So yeah, that was that.
I love that. I always think that there's such a, obviously you now playing all of the roles at one point or another, you must now see yourself, okay, so I could go in and play any role. However, anytime I have been pulled in for 6, I have only been one character. Like, so it's always always been the one. I think I've been in for 6 about 5 times. And it's only been the one. So I'm hoping this is like good juju that I'm speaking to you.
Yeah.
Good juju. Like the next time it comes around, I hope to get in there.
Yeah.
But so obviously with you playing all of the roles, which of the girls is most like Grace?
Which queen?
Yes.
Oh, Catherine Varrigan, I think was.
Oh really?
She was my favourite. Yeah. By the end of it, I think Catherine Varrigan was my favourite one to play, simply because I think because I was doing it quite a lot because it was one of my first covers.
Okay.
I really had enough time to like find my version of it, and which was really helpful for me because like and like anyone who's covered in 6 will vouch for me in saying that like it's so hard trying to find your own version of each queen. And I think the thing with Aragon is like, I found my version and I really liked it and I felt really comfortable with it, and I'd worked hard on it with the creatives, so I knew that they approved of it. And also it's just such a great track because you have such good lines, and No Way is an absolute banger, and you get to like set the tone of the piece, which I think is quite a cool thing. Like she's like the first one who like introduces the actual like comedy level of it, and like is the one who's like, by the way guys, this is like hilarious, this show, it's not, we're not being serious. And I just really like that, and then you just get to like dance in the background for the rest of it, which is really fun. I loved doing Howard, and I also loved doing Berlin. I didn't do it as much because it was my second cover, but I loved doing Berlin actually. Seymour I absolutely loved. I think Seymour is again one of the best tracks as well, because Heartstone is just like, it's just insane. But yeah, I think Catherine of Aragon was my favourite, and also because I was next to Millie for a lot of the show, and we used to just have a laugh.
So, do you have like, obviously, if anyone hasn't seen Six, there's like quite a lot of I wouldn't call them like groups. Like there's like group scenes where you have like banter off of one another. So, do you have like a favourite quote from the show? Like, it doesn't have to be like Aragon's, it can just be a favourite quote of any of the queens. And what's your favourite musical quote from the show? Like, what's your favourite line from one of the songs?
That's tricky. See, I think the best section of dialogue in the whole show for me was Catherine Howard's monologue before All You Want to Do, when she like goes through each queen and she's like, Catherine getting like whatever, I can't remember the lines, but I think that was really fun to do if you were Howard on like a Friday or Saturday night and the audience were up for a laugh and like they found it really funny. If it's like a dead matinee, it's not fun. But like we always, if it was like a really quiet show and you'd try and do that monologue and they just weren't giving you anything, we just used to laugh because it was just so funny when no one would laugh. But yeah, I don't know, I think that is probably my favorite bit. And then maybe like I love the bit where Cleves is like, guys, I've got the plague. Lol, just kidding, my life's amazing. Like that bit, so heightened and everything's like
amazing.
Favorite
song from line from a song. Then what's your favorite line from a song? It's really hard knowing that you've played all of them, so
it's got to be you say it's a pity because go to Leviticus. Yeah, that's really good. And then do
you not find that you could now put rap on your spotlight? Like, do you not?
Well, when I was tired once, I actually tweeted it. It was when I was doubling up with Juliet, and I just went, "You say it's a pity because I'm getting in the islands go all my life," and I was just like, and I could just see everyone's shoulders like this because I was just so mouth just didn't move. Yeah, that's what happens. I love that line.
Let me go through some of these questions now that I've finished some of mine. Okay, so when we post more TikToks, someone has asked.
Oh my gosh, I'm so inconsistent on TikTok, but I really like it. I'll try my best. I'm trying with my YouTube as much as I can at the moment. So TikTok isn't top of the list, but I'll get to it.
I don't know how I feel about TikTok. I'm at the I mean, I wouldn't say I'm old. I'm 23, but
yeah, no, me too. It's very overwhelming.
I'm still part of that category where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I just don't know how to work it. Like, I'm trying to get some of the young ones in my family to like teach me how to do things. Oh, I just can't work it.
It's very overwhelming.
Will you ever go back to Six?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
You can hear me now? Yes. Cool. I was like holding my phone and I was like, do you know what? I would go back if it was for like a little mini stint, like a 2-month thing. I probably wouldn't do another year just because I'm like very much one of those people who's like, what's next? So yeah, I'd go back to like cover 100%, but I don't think I'd go back for like a full contract.
Don't Lose Your Chill. Okay, love the name. If you haven't imagined you're in a music video with your headphones on, have you really lived? And I think the answer is no, you haven't really lived. You
You
really
haven't.
haven't. If you could swap any Queen's role, who would it be? Do you
What do you
mean
mean?
if you could swap any Queen's role, who would it be? Do you mean if you could swap any of the girls round? That's quite a good question. Like
Ah,
if so let's take Millie for prime example. So if you were the casting director
yeah.
and you didn't see Millie in that role, who would you have put? Like, kind of, let's make it like that. I hope that's
Oh
what you
yeah.
meant.
Maybe I'd swap maybe like Millie and Amy. So like
Yep,
Millie is Howard and Amy is
Boleyn.
Boleyn. With
Yep.
like, so I guess well they're both kind of a bit similar, I guess, in terms of their like cheekiness as
Yep.
characters. Um, I think I think Alexia would be really angry at me if I didn't say Alexia is Seymour.
Okay.
She loves singing Heart of Stone.
Love that.
I think that would be very fun.
Love that. Um,
Yeah.
I always remember there was a dance call for another musical with Genesis, and this was just at the time where she was in Six, and I'd always thought because obviously she had. Did she ever cover any of the other girls as well?
No.
I would have loved to have seen her as Aragon. Like,
Oh
loved.
gosh, that was it. That would be so
Like, I
cool.
think that would have been a dream. I
Yeah.
think she would have been so good. Will there be a sixth musical performance in the Philippines? I
Oh my god, that would be a dream. To do
wouldn't it.
six in Asia, in the Philippines, or in anywhere near the
That would
Philippines.
be so cool.
I really, really want to go to the Philippines.
What was your favourite dance trend? I don't know if that means on TikTok or within Six. You can maybe answer both. What was your favourite dance in Six? And then what was your favourite dance trend on TikTok? Did you take part in any?
Oh, favorite dance in Six is no way. And then my favorite TikTok dance. I don't know. I don't know it well enough. I did a TikTok dance to Greedy on my TikTok.
Ariana.
To learn. So
Nice.
Greedy. The
Nice.
Greedy.
I mean, that I'm just showing my age now. I don't know what that is. The only one I know is the do do do.
Oh yeah.
That's the only one I know.
Yeah.
If you could add anything to the show, would you?
To Six.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's great. I think I do really miss the bit that was in the Edinburgh Fringe version when we all started fighting.
Yes.
And Howard was like pulling Jane's hair.
I think
That was fun.
I think a lot of people. So obviously I am Scottish. If any of you are joining and you're like, what is the accent? But yes, I think a lot of people forget or don't even know that Six did actually originate at the Edinburgh Fringe, and obviously the Fringe couldn't go ahead this year. But I think it's so we as a profile. So if you're clicking on Car Crash's profile from Grace's, we as a company, we go to the Fringe every single year, and it was such a lovely thing when something really made it big. Like Six is now in so many countries all across the world, and it originated at the Edinburgh Fringe. So that's just so it was just really, really nice to come from, especially to come from Scotland. It's just lovely.
My favourite place on earth. I love it so much.
Oh, do you? You should come to Glasgow.
Yeah, I love Glasgow as well.
That's okay then. I was just going to say, if you've only been to posh Scotland, you haven't been to actual Scotland.
Oh no, we on tour.
Good. How did you deal with your schedule whilst at GCS? GSA. So how did you deal?
GSA.
Yes.
I think it was fine. I never really had any issues. First year there's a lot of breaks, so that was fine. I don't know if it's changed now, but when I was there was a lot of breaks in first year. Third year I I was all right. I had a job. I did princess parties on the weekend, and that never really clashed with anything apart from I was in this thing called the GSA Singers, which is like the GSA. It's like a choir thing. We
Choir.
went to events and stuff, and it was really fun. But yeah, that would only clash with things like that, which wasn't part of the curriculum. That wasn't any big deal. But yeah, I think the schedule was actually fine, and because I wasn't really focused on anything else apart from princess parties and GSA. Yeah, I found it all right.
This must be where the Moana wipe down thing comes from.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew it. Knew it.
Honestly, I'm not even blowing my own trumpet, but I think that's like the best wipe challenge I've ever seen.
No way.
My boyfriend edited it, and he actually did it. So it's nuts. If you watch it back, you'll see that there's one bit where it's like me as Moana and me in the onesie thing
At the same time.
But yeah, that was where the white challenge came from.
Who was your favourite princess to be if you had to go to a party?
Well, I was always Moana, because when I was doing it was when Moana came out, and it was
okay.
But I did really like doing Jasmine every now and then, because it was way comfier costume.
Yeah.
And then grass skirts sticking to like my sweaty legs.
I can imagine. Grass skirts are just not the vibe. Absolutely not the vibe. Someone has asked, how do you book singing lessons? Are you giving singing lessons, or do you take singing lessons?
I am.
You are giving singing lessons?
I haven't. I'm doing them on. Yeah, I have an email address, just gracemouatworkshops@hotmail.com, and I will get back to you.
Awesome.
If you've so email that email.
Okay, I didn't even know that. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's really fun. I really like it.
Do you use? So I'm quite a singing snob. I'm really up there with I love listening and breaking down like a voice and how it all works. So do you use like a specific technique or anything, or is it just what you trained with at GSA?
I focus mainly on like performance and acting through song
stuff.
Acting
through song, yep.
But then in terms of if I am going to teach a bit of technique, I'll try to go hand in hand with the acting.
Yep.
So different ways you can manipulate your voice to make you sadder or happier or more emotional, or open up a note, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because I don't know enough about the voice to teach technique, and I'll put my hand on that.
I'd rather love it.
Either you go to Matt Shaw or someone, because I find it really interesting, but I wouldn't want to teach someone the wrong thing, so that's why I prefer to work on the performance side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got a few and Juliet ones coming in. What did you do improv dance wise as you grew up? What did you do improv dance wise?
Any improv dance. Hello, love the great poet Agent M. Harris. Happy birthday for the other night. I never did improv dance growing up. I just danced. Is that what you mean?
I've no idea. Maybe it was
I loved it improv. I'm not very good at it.
What to see when it comes to improv in a audition scenario? I think chills go down my whole spine, and I think everyone around me is doing backflip splits and things like that, and I'm oh, I love this. I love this so much.
I give good old step tap.
Oh yeah.
Step dig.
See, if you give me a pair of tap shoes, I will tap my way out of it. But if it's not a tap call, then we can't do anything about it. Someone's asking, where's Bonnie?
Oh, I'm not at home at the moment. Bonnie's at home, but she recently got her first puppy cut, and it's very cute. And I can finally see her eyes. She doesn't look like a mop anymore, which is good.
Everyone's saying props to Josh for the editing skills for the TikTok.
Oh, honestly, his new level, so good.
Yes, Michael, I hope you've had a really nice birthday, and I hope that you didn't get too drunk. But yes,
I don't know
so
about that.
I mean, I won't air your laundry publicly here, Michael. So my best friend is with Michael, and he's also one of my best friends, and it's just lovely to see Michael when he's had a drink because he's yes. So let's talk about Anne Juliet. So let's go into this. So what is your favourite song from the show? That's it. Let's start with that first.
So my favourite song to perform, as Juliet's probably Raw, but then my favourite song in general, I think, is One More Try, because it was written for the show, so it just like feels really right, and I love singing it, and I love singing with Jordan or Alex, whoever's on.
Yes. Have you ever, so either in Anne Juliet or Six, have you ever had any like really embarrassing moments? Like I'm talking like to the point where you almost shut down. Like have you ever had any of those, or have you ever had any of the strange like audience participation that was just like really
I've had it
uncalled
all.
for? Okay.
I've had it all.
Okay, spill the tea.
So in Anne Juliet, I think the one where I literally had a breakdown was when the wedding dress didn't come off. Someone's already just put it in the comments. The wedding dress didn't come off in Raw, and I just did Raw with an open back wedding dress. There was also a time in Six, now that you mentioned audience participation, there was a time when I was on for Howard, so I was on like stage left, and someone in the balcony spilled a glass of red wine, and it fell onto the person in this like third row in the stall. And me and Maya, we didn't know what to do because it was like raining red wine for a good like 10 seconds, falling all over this person, and it wasn't even during a song, it was during a scene, so like everyone was looking at it, and it was just
it would be like the scene from Carrie where she gets the paint.
Drops. And it was red wine. So that was funny.
I cannot believe that. Someone has just commented that is so unfortunate. Like, you're so right. That is so unfortunate. Imagine having to sit through the rest of the show with red. Oh, that was awful. Yeah. So awful.
But yeah, there's loads of stuff that happened. But I think the main thing, like when that wedding dress happened, I like came off and I just like sobbed. Agent M Harris. I don't know why I keep calling you Agent M Harris. I think it's quite cool. Yeah, I did just like cry. Hey, really? And but then I was like, fine. After like 10 minutes, I was like, you know what? It happened. It's done. But it's just because in Raw, because obviously there's like explosions and big lighting and everything going on, like you can see the whole audience and you can just see like phone screens, because Raw is like such an epic moment and some people just don't get the etiquette of theatre. They do film it and they're like, whoa, this is so cool, look at all the confetti, and I'm there like, oh. But it was the best I've ever sung Raw ever, because the end of Raw is an absolute beast.
Yes.
And yeah, it was the best I ever sung it because I was thinking about something else. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah, love that. No idea what you're on about. I don't drink. Sending love to you both. Hopefully see you soon. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Someone has asked, how much are singing lessons with you?
So they're £30 for half an hour.
Wonderful. God, if I was talking to Grace, you'd be crying. I was almost crying at the start, I'm not gonna lie. Am I allowed to ask when you're planning to leave? I want to come and see it, but I don't know when I'll be able to come because of COVID. Well, I mean, this is probably the same for anyone that was in a show. I think the whole of the theatre industry is a bit, everything's kind of topsy-turvy. We don't really know when anything's going to go back, to be honest. At least you do have your hair dates that we can promote, and everyone can absolutely.
Hair's actually sold out.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. So is the drive-in that I'm doing on the 13th. But Yeah, I don't really know what to suggest.
It just shows you
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you can see me
that's true.
do stuff.
It just
That's the most you're gonna get to me performing.
that's the craving for theatre though. So we've obviously not had it since March, and we're now in almost the end of August, and it's like it's been this gap, and people don't realise how much it just makes people so happy. Like when you it's the whole
Yeah,
experience of going to the theatre, and no matter whether you're on the stage, an usher in a theatre, like it doesn't matter if you're any
everyone's been so affected.
yeah, it's so affected. Um what is your favourite dance routine from Anne Juliet?
It's the one. It's the problem. Can't feel my face mashup. It's like a. It's basically like the dream ballet of Anne Juliet, but meets X Factor dance off.
Okay.
And
Amazing.
it's very cool.
Someone's asked, I've always wondered when covering for Berlin, do you change the green sleeves line?
No,
No.
you just do it and just hope for the best.
Um, what's your favourite song someone has ever done in a singing lesson?
Oh, my Ruth yesterday. I don't know if Ruth's here, but she did "Me in the Sky," which is one of my favourite
Love
songs
that song.
in theatre, and that was really fun. And it was just a great lesson with Ruth yesterday in general, and it was just a tune. So I think that's been a good one. Yeah, I like all songs,
Love
and
that.
like people usually bring songs that I know, which is quite nice because I'm
Yes.
just a theatre geek. So yeah, I love all songs, but that was one that was yesterday, and it was really fun.
So we've got a couple that have been dropped into the actual box. What was Grace's emotion when it was her first performance?
Of what? Of Anne Juliet, or of
I think probably six or and either or. Either or.
my first show six. I was very lucky because I got to have two. So I did a matinee and an evening, and the matinee kind of like gave me a chance to like be a rabbit in headlights, because the first thing that any cover wants to do after they've done their first show is do it again, because you're like, I want to like go over this and this and this and this, and so that was great, and it went really well, and like the six was not what it was now, so like it wasn't as like crazy screaming fans. We were like in Cambridge, and there was just people who were like, "Oh, this sounds fun." Like no one really knew what was going on, whereas like the majority of people who go and watch it now like know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't tell you how my first performance as Juliet went, because I was just so focused. My brain was going, what am I doing next? Where am I going next? Who am I saying this line to? Where's my next prop? Where's my next scene change? Where's my next quick change? So I was just thinking about that, and then the bows were just I can't even put it into words. It was just ridiculous. Yeah.
Love that. Um, any advice on starting musical theatre?
I think like just go like really immersing yourself in it, like just going for it, doing whatever you can, putting yourselves into classes and workshops, not being afraid to chat to people, learning from other people. Go and see as much theatre as you can. Obviously very difficult right now, but write down what you liked about it, who you liked in it, who directed it, who cast it, all that stuff. Like just get yourself aware of names and styles and shows and like the general MT like language,
Way of life. It's an absolute way
way
of
of
life.
life.
Yeah.
Like just get to know the industry as much as you can, basically.
Yep.
And work hard.
Yes, absolutely work hard. Do you ever get stage fright?
Yes.
You
I don't
do?
think I don't think I've ever done one show as Juliet without stage fright. Well, it's like nerves. Stage fright and nerves
Yeah.
are the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest, in my ensemble track is so comfy in me that I like can be in a scene and be like looking around and things.
Yeah.
Not always thinking about my intentions. I usually do, but you know, I'm very comfortable with it. I don't stress about it too much unless I've been on Juliet for ages and then I'm like going back to my normal track. But yeah, Juliet is just, anything can happen.
Yep.
Anything could happen, and there's some moments of the show that I'm always like, is this gonna happen today? Is this note gonna come out today? And it makes me nervous, and
Yeah.
that's called being a human being. So
Although
yeah,
my mum always says that being nervous shows you care. So you obviously just care.
100%. I
Yeah.
think nerves are so important. The right amount of nerves are really important.
Okay. What are you most excited about for hair?
Do you know what? I wish I could say, but I don't really know what's going on.
Okay. Love that.
I think, yeah, I think the thing I'm most excited about, 100%, is the cast.
Mhm.
Like, everyone doing it, I'm obsessed with. They're
Same.
either my friends or I'm like big fans.
Yep.
So I'm really very excited about that. I think the sound should hopefully be like amazing of like us together. I'm also just intrigued. I think it's going to be really different and exciting, and obviously it's a concert version. I don't really know what that means. I've also never performed like in a show outside before, which will be cool. Hopefully I'll get to dress up as a hippie, and yeah, it'll be fun.
Live that best hippie life.
Yeah.
Which queen do you think would be friends with Juliet in the present day?
Catherine Parr.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just think Catherine Parr, because she's just on it, and she's like girl power in like sensible way.
Just shifting through some of these questions. Do you prefer being ensemble or a principal role? Love the podcast, by the way. We're going to go into the podcast in a little sec.
Thank you, Toby. I don't know. I absolutely adore being in ensemble, particularly the ensemble of and Juliet. We're all very close. But I do obviously really want to play a lead one day in my career. But for now, I'm enjoying my best life doing both. So I'm going to be happy with that.
Hell yes. Absolutely. Favourite junk food? A little bit of a random one. Favourite junk food?
Ooh. Oreos
Okay.
and Perry chips.
Nando's peri chips or Black Rooster peri chips?
Nando's.
Nando's, okay.
But I've never been to Black Rooster. I don't know what that is. Is it?
Black Rooster is like, what's the PC way of saying this? A poor man's Nando's.
Amazing. Oh yeah.
It's like
Sarah. Hi Sarah. Yeah, bubble tea.
bubble tea. I've never had a bubble
I
tea.
only Bubble bubble tea, which basically is a bubble tea. It's just juice.
Right. Okay. So the majority of the rest of the questions are kind of about YouTube and your podcast, so I'll just ask you some questions about them. So we can drop everything. So when I post this on the Car Crash page, I'll make sure to link everything to your YouTube page. And can you tell us a little bit more about your podcast? So have you got anything exciting coming up with that? Like, why did you really start a podcast? What was the purpose behind it?
Yeah, there's loads of different reasons. So I wanted to do some kind of like interview series.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that machine is so loud. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's fine. And because I really would love to be a presenter like later on in life. And I also just wanted, like, I've been doing quite a few lockdown interviews where it was kind of like, what's if, like things that we're talking about today,
Mm-hmm.
a few like, but I am really interested in, like, you know how we were speaking about how I started out and shut up Josh, how I started out and like my journey as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and like other things, like for example YouTube and podcasts that like I do, and I just, it's really hard to explain. I basically just wanted to do it to like show people that actors are more than their biggest mishap on stage and
Yes.
their favourite costume in a show. Everyone, especially now, have been finding our own little side hustles, our own new businesses, our newfound loves, because we haven't been able to fulfil our happiness in theatre. So we're having to find happiness in other things and like making ways to make money and things like that. And it's just, I just wanted to like do it to find out more about people, because I love people in general. I
Yeah.
love to speak to people and I find people really interesting. So I wanted to do it for that. And then, yeah, but it was actually my now manager, Millie. She was the one who was like, have you ever thought about doing it? Like before that, I never would have even thought about it. So she is the woman behind it all. So big up, Millie. So yeah, I never ever, like before lockdown, before coronavirus, I always wanted a YouTube channel, but never in my life did I think I'd have a podcast. So this is just like, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
And things I've got coming up, I've got a really cool interview with Talia Ma, who's a YouTuber who's amazing, and she's a singer. I've also got Kerry Ellis. Like,
Yes.
yeah, never in my life did I ever think I'd be able to say I interviewed Kerry Ellis. Like,
Love that. Love that.
Louise Dearman's coming on my
Oh.
podcast. 6 girls are coming on my podcast. So I've got a new mini series come out called New Writing Wednesdays, and I've got 2 amazing new writers coming on that. I'm hoping to try and do something to connect with graduates and like put graduates out there and just having a little like doing a bit of mind mapping as to like what I can do. But I want to do something with graduates. So if anyone has any recommendations, if you're a graduate, please message me. And yeah, loads of really cool things. I really, really want to do like a live event with it. So like go to a theatre or somewhere and do like a live recording. Because I went to see The Guilty Feminist, which is my favourite podcast, in Edinburgh at the Fringe. I went to a live recording of it, and I really want to do like something like that.
Okay.
Not in like the massive theatre that was in, but like I don't know, maybe like the theatre cafe or somewhere like that, like a smaller venue. I think that would be quite cool. Yeah, loads of really cool things coming up. And my episode today is with Marisha Wallace. And that was like, I think probably like the deepest I've gone so far in an interview, because I feel very comfortable speaking with Marisha, because she's just one of the people who's like, well, I feel comfortable speaking with everyone, to be honest. And I feel like people can tell that from my podcast.
Yeah.
But Marisha is just like, she just is so, like, she overshares in the best way. Like, she just gives her heart to everything. And like, she speaks so eloquently about life and confidence and her career and like her dreams and her hard work. And it's just like, I've literally listened back to the episode that I did like 4 times just because I love it so much. And I like wrote notes just because I like
love
found
that.
her so
That's so nice.
and that's another reason I did the podcast, just because I want to learn from people.
Yeah.
I like to serve people and learn from people and find out how they got to where they are, you know. And then I'm also doing like visual previews of the interviews on my YouTube channel. So I've got Alice Fern's one currently uploading now, but it's taking forever.
Amazing.
But yeah, so it's all go, and I'm loving it, and I've met some amazing people whilst doing it. And yeah.
Well, talking about the podcast, obviously we're just a little page right now, but for the month of October, we are running a full month of a Black History Month, and we are trying to kind of get in conversation with, just have an open conversation with people, both like in the industry who have been at both sides of the table, so to speak, and then people who have made it to like a stage perspective. So like, is there anything that you've got in that kind of sense that would be good to like promote for our Black History Month? Because I would love to do that if you had like conversations like as deep as that. Like, I know you're talking about the deep conversation with Marisha, but
yeah.
So that
yeah, I've spoken a little bit about it in my podcast with Nathan, because he's an incredible. He's in and Juliet with me, but he's also a singer-songwriter. He's actually just released a new song. Go and check it out, Nathan, Lorraine, Deneen. And we have a little chat about like his demographics as an artist, because he is a black gay male, and in the hip hop R&B world, like for me, I would like actively seek out to listen to music that's like quite political and like tackles stuff like racism and homophobia and the current climate of the world. Like I find music like that really amazing and inspiring. But in the music world, like he would chat about how like some music people were like, your demographics just don't work like as a collective, which I find mind blowing. So that was a really interesting interview. That's on my podcast if you wanted to share that.
We can absolutely share that.
Yeah, just drop a message, I'll send you over all the goods.
So I won't take up too much more of your time. My final two questions are going to be, so for many of us who are watching, our dream role would be to be in Six, but moving on for you. So I know everyone would love for you to go back to Six, but as a performer myself, I know that it's all about like the next thing, like you moving on as an artist. So what would be your next dream role? And also, what would be your next dream show to be in?
So I really, really want to do Eliza in Hamilton.
Yes.
And like, I just love it. Vocally, acting, everything. I just love it. I'd love to create my own role in a show. That would be really fun. I'd love to do Hadestown, any role, literally, or Once on This Island.
Okay.
Yeah. Amazing. Anything. In the Heights, literally.
Love that.
Yeah. So there's loads of stuff. I'd love to do new musicals again.
Have you ever written it? Obviously, when you were talking about new like writers like up and coming. So the people that run this page, we are writing a new play and a new musical, but are you writing anything? Like, have you ever dipped your toe in that kind of water? Or?
No.
You haven't?
No.
No.
I'm very much I love new musicals so much. I'm very much happy to like observe and enjoy. Okay. But I mean, sometimes thoughts come to me and I'm like, oh, I need to write this down. But now my boyfriend started writing, I'm a little bit like, oh no. Because he'll just laugh at me. Okay. I tried to write a song the other day and he literally found it hilarious. It was like, the lyrics were like, sunshine, blue skies. And we were just crying of laughter. But yeah, I'm trying to get a bit more creative. Okay. But at first I'm starting with drawing. I started drawing the other day.
Okay.
And I was actually quite good at it, if I do say so myself.
Right, we need proof.
I don't know if I ever share what I drew, but it was just like crayons.
Okay. Have you ever done the thing where you put crayons up at the top and you like burn them all and it becomes like this little waterfall
my God,
thing?
I've seen that.
Have you seen it?
No, I might do that. I haven't done it, but I've seen it.
I think it's obviously through lockdown. Like let's mention the dreaded L word. But obviously through lockdown, like you were saying, everyone's finding their own little side hustles. Everyone's finding, but it's really about, so here's me, an absolute Scottish nobody. I'm telling you, see if drawing with crayons makes you happy. You do it. See if it makes your mental health better. You do it. Like, find that thing that makes you feel better and just do it and enjoy it.
Yeah. I came off like social media for like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
And now I'm like kind of going back and forth whenever I feel I can. But as soon as I deleted it, that's what I did straight away. I just started drawing and I was like, oh my gosh, it is great.
It's so good. I love things like that. I love see, for me it's baking. I really like to bake and to cook. It's not.
I have my own food page and everything.
Do you?
My hand pie.
Do you? Oh, this is
it's
amazing.
It's a bit poor at the moment. I can't lie. I haven't really been on it that much, but I go on it every now and then, and it's just a nice space. If I ever feel like I want to like share one of my recipes, I just go on there. Or if I like I love going out to eat as well. So, and that's actually why I started it. It was more going to be like a food like review thing.
Okay.
Because when I went on tour,
Yeah.
obviously we went to like really yummy places, and we were in the Edinburgh Fringe for 6 weeks, which
Yes.
has like the yummiest food ever.
Oh,
So I
yes.
was doing a bit of like food blogging.
Okay.
And I also love cooking and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I do like going on it.
Amazing. So I think that, I mean, if anyone else has got any little questions in the comments, but I think I won't take up too much more of your time. So if everyone can do a little virtual rounds of applause. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for your question.
And so if you've enjoyed the little 6 Q&A, I can confirm that we do have another 6 Q&A with my very good friend Alicia Corrales Connor, and she was on Bliss Norwegian, and she also did the tour. So we've got that coming up. So yes,
everywhere.
Oh yes, she has been everywhere, but she's amazing. So it'll be very, very good. So we've got that coming up on the 27th. So if you like this little 6 Q&A, you can tune in for that as well. But thank you so much for taking the time out to have a little chat with me.
Thanks for having me.
And I can see all the virtual claps coming in now, so everyone have a little virtual clap for Grace. I miss an audience clapping. I miss the actual applause.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so weird. Whoa.
It's going to be so weird to hear it again. But yes, thank you so much for taking the time to have a little chat with us.
Thank you.
And I will drop the YouTube, the TikTok. Let's pray that you get back on the TikTok.
Yeah, I will be.
And the podcast all in the little bio. But thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your night.
And you. So lovely to virtually meet you.
I'm sure we'll not virtually. I'm sure we'll actually meet at some point in the future. But thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, God. Bye.
Bye.